Hello, everyone. Welcome to another in our Essential Oils Education series. I'm Jennifer Hernandez here with my dear friend Kim Raymer. And today, Kim is going to show us about healthy eating and habit stacking and healthy swaps that we can easily make to move ourselves in the right direction of an overall healthy lifestyle. So Kim and I, as you probably know, have met through Doterra. We're both wellness advocates with Doterra. We don't live anywhere near each other, but it's been beautiful to build a relationship and share ideas and do these classes together online. So Kim is in Park City, Utah, with her husband Bud and their grown sons Max and Chris and her daughter-in-law, and they are outdoorsy and just wonderful fun. She does yoga. She loves yoga and gardening and hiking and skiing. And she's been an integral part in the past planning events for the USASA, which is the U.S. Ski Boarders and Skiers and Snowboarders Association. And it helps kiddos when they're running down the mountain there and creating a team environment for them and motivating them and just supporting them in every which way. So Kim is going to do our presentation today, and I'm so excited to hear, Kim, what you've got going on, because I need to know what these tricks are you have up your sleeve. I'm all ears.
Thank you. This has been so much fun to start these classes with Jen. I think we were just mentioning to each other, we've been doing this for over 7 months, and it's really helped each of us grow in a lot of different ways in the worlds that we're a part of. We don't live in the same town. Jennifer is with her husband, Martine, and their daughter, Gabriella, in the western suburbs of Chicago. And Jennifer has given the gift of her touch for over 20 years as a licensed massage therapist. She is a wellness advocate for doTERRA, and her knowledge of these oils and how she can it just rolls off her tongue has always been an inspiration for me. But I know from recently looking on her birthday post, she has hundreds of friends and she has given so much care to each of them. So it was really nice for me to see how many people were loving on you on your birthday post and everything else that you've had going on the last couple weeks. And I'm very jealous. Jennifer is going to a warm climate and I think the end of next week, she's going to Arizona. So we will be hailing from Park City in Arizona next week. So thank you for the introduction. Again, this has been it's been a meaningful relationship for us and sharing with you what we know. And we hope you enjoy today's topic, which is on eating right and eating better and feeling better. I'm going to share my screen. And we've all heard the saying of, eating right. And, you have to look back at how did we learn how to eat right and what's our definition of that and how did we acquire the habits that we have today. And that's part of what we'll go over, because I think the way that we can start new habits or to assess how could we add to the things that we do now is a kind of, you got to write it down. You've got to think about where did this all happen. I'm going to share with you some tips. I'm going to take myself off there. Tips for your kitchen as you plan your meals and for on the go, because most of us are on the go right now, whether it's for a class or whether we're taking our kids somewhere or whether we're going to go care for families, but it's all about healthy habits. What are habits? The noun definition of habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. Do any of you have a habit? Well, I have several. And as I started to prepare for this class, I was really intrigued to learn more about habits. When we define habits, they are the small decisions you make and the actions you perform every day. According to researchers at Duke University, habits account for about 40% of our behaviors on any given day. So whether when you wake up, the first thing you go to do is to make that pot of coffee or a cup of tea, at the beginning of our day, what we do is probably a habit. When we do our laundry, that we left something on the floor, or whether we pick something up. Our lives today is really essentially the sum of our habits. How in shape or out of shape are you? A result of your habits. How happy or unhappy you are? A result of your habits. How successful or unsuccessful you are? Probably a result of habits. When you repeatedly do, this would be what you spend time thinking about and doing each day. Ultimately, this forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality that you portray. Everything that we talk about here, from procrastination to productivity to strength and to nutrition, starts with better habits. When you learn to transform your habits, you can actually transform your life. Where do we get our current eating habits? Well, think about it. Many times when I have fond memories of my mom and dad, who I lost a couple years ago, we always go back to the dinner table or to places that we live. The family has a lot to do with our habits current day, whether we've changed those habits or whether we still have some things that we put on our table or that we prepare. It could be because of special dinner or meal situations that our mom started to lay down in front of us. Our habits also deal a lot with our lifestyle. And our lifestyles have changed from when we were little to when we became adolescents and adults, to then getting married or just growing up and having families. Our lifestyle does have a lot to do with what we pick up to eat. Convenience, budget. And many times it's like, well, that would be better for me, but it's just so much more expensive. And we don't think through, how could we make that work? Who are you hanging out with? Or what do you do for activity as far as sports or getting outside? And what do you need to sustain your energy while you're doing that? So our friendship circle has a lot to do with some of our habits. Traditions and holidays also lay the groundwork for what we look forward to for, even let's say this weekend, for Valentine's Day or for Memorial Day or for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. So there are recipes that have been handed down from generation to generation in my family and probably yours that deal with our holiday eating habits. When we start to plan our meals and snacks, we can really start to see what we're doing right and some of the things we may want to change. Feeling all right through planning what you are going to eat for meals and snacks. I have a suggestion as we start to talk about planning meals and snacks. Journal what you eat now and maybe give some thought about it. Why do you eat that? I eat the same thing every morning for breakfast, and it is a habit. I think it's a good one, but I know also what I ate 10 years ago and 20 years ago, and those were different kinds of things. And so I probably have improved my eating habit for breakfast, but until I started to write it down, I really didn't see what the combination of nutritious meals and snacks were versus those things that I could probably improve on and have a better percentage of, whether it's fruits and vegetables or the greens or the carbs or the right kinds of fats. So if you journal and write down what you're planning for meals and what you think you need for snacks, you probably will start to see a pattern and something that you could add to. When we talk about habit stackers, it's kind of a fun term for if you have a habit, such as getting up in the morning and making that pot of coffee. And if while that coffee is being brewed, you always had your first glass of water with perhaps a drop of lemon essential oil, that would be a great habit to add at the beginning of a day that just starts your body moving. When you look at what you might be eating for breakfast and you add something that that would add in one of those precious servings of fruits and vegetables that we need every day, that would probably be a great habit stacker to make. Okay, we all have good habits and we all have other habits that we term as bad habits. One of the things that when I think about habits, we always think about habits being possibly bad, and they do not have to be bad. We think about the habit we have of not picking our towel up off the floor, or things that our children do that it's a habit, or he never shuts the door. Well, we also have habits that can be really positive habits when you put that habit on top of something else. I used to think a Krispy Kreme donut was the best thing ever. It would just melt in my mouth right off that factory rolling pin at the store. And now I can't imagine eating one of those because I have a better habit I've put on top of that. So when I think of something that's going to give me a little bit of sweet and it's going to give me what I think is a little bit of energy, I know that if I have some slices of orange with me, that I'm gonna feel a lot better than after that Krispy Kreme donut I may have eaten. So what have we been taught about good habits versus bad habits? It was something that when I looked at the definition of habits, I thought there are so many positive ways we could term this. It's like, what have I been taught? And my family, who I'll say we grew up in the 60s because that was one of the first parts I remember, but we lived in South America for 6 years when I was very young. And so there weren't a lot of bad habits there, except that we had no milk. We lived near the jungle. And instead of milk, my parents had, and most of the families had, the Coca-Cola truck pulled up once a week and brought probably 5-6 cases of the real Coca-Cola. And that's what I was taught was my beverage of choice when I was little. And it wasn't until I came back to the States when I was 10 years old and went to school and they served milk in a carton that I realized, even though that didn't sound very good, I probably hadn't been drinking the right kinds of liquid. That was a hard habit to break, though. In the 60s, my parents introduced us to what became the latest, greatest convenience fad, and it was called McDonald's. So McDonald's was something my family did at least once a week. It was a treat to go get that hamburger and the French fries and either the chocolate milkshake or the Coke. And my mom and dad loved what the 60s brought: processed food, convenience, and a way to take care of their family at an affordable budget. I can see exactly how it happened and how I was taught through their actions about what I would continue probably for the next 10 years into college. I didn't know what an avocado was until I moved west. And that's not to make light of my intelligence, but there weren't a lot of avocados in Tennessee in the 70s and 80s. But what I learned as I looked at food that really made me feel good was there was something else I could put in place of that double cheeseburger from McDonald's, which was my college staple, or that Krispy Kreme donut. So when you think about the things that are really convenient, like picking up a small bag of potato chips or cookies, think about what else you could prepare and have in either sustainable packaging or even a Ziploc bag. Have it in your fridge so that when you're running out to yoga or when you're going on that walk or when you're going to go to a meditation class, that whether it's a few pieces of fruit or whether it's some nice vegetables cut up or some nuts, get those ready and you'll find that all of a sudden you feel good, that you actually don't feel laden with a lot of carbs and sugar. And almost everything that we eat that is a processed food or is prepared beforehand does have sugar in it. So again, what do you eat? Write it all down: meals and snacks. What could you do to replace and add health and nutrition to your health? Start simple though. Choose your good to replace the bad and just put it down on paper, and then choose, as we've been doing with the 21-day challenge. We've been tracking daily for those of you that are on the 21-day challenge at Doterra. We've been tracking every day the same exact items. Did I wake up on time? Did I reach my water intake? Did I do my daily moves? Did I focus on calming activities? Did I do the habits, and did I review my habits on the daily tracker? And I think when you look at nutrition and you look at easy ways to add good habits to what we currently do, just try 1, 2, or 3 at a time. And I think you'll find that you'll have a lot of success. Some ideas for items, especially for snacking. I think that's where we get into trouble, and sometimes where we get into trouble with our meals is that we snack too much, or we're so hungry before dinner that it's just like whatever is there, that's what we go for. Nuts are incredibly healthy, and these are the 9 best nuts. And it's true, because they all have some really cool benefits, and I'm not going to go through each one individually, but the bottom line is that nuts are one of the healthiest snacks you can eat, as they contain a wide range of essential nutrients. However, their beneficial effects are attributed to nuts, or the beneficial effects that are attributed to nuts is that they've been minimally processed, and they normally don't have added ingredients. Although you can buy them with a lot of sugar on them, a lot of salt, and some syrup. But if you look at just true nuts and what they contain as far as nutritional value, they're really good for our bodies. Many processed nut products, such as peanut butter, often contain high amounts of salt or added sugar. As a result, it's best to buy nuts with nothing else added. When incorporated into a healthy diet consisting of other natural whole foods, nuts may help reduce risk factors for a number of chronic diseases. Most of the fat in nuts is monosaturated fat, as well as omega-6 and omega-3 polyunsaturated fat. They do have some saturated fat. They also pack a number of vitamins and minerals, including magnesium and vitamin E. Many studies have investigated the health benefits of increased nut intake. And when you go to the dentist, they always say, oh, you know what, you're going to have to floss more. You need to be careful with how many nuts you eat or how much granola you eat. And so I started to pull back on my nut intake, because I thought, oh, I'm going to get, I'm going to have decay. Well, it's really because I just, nuts, you really do have to make sure you brush your teeth really good. There's nothing wrong with nuts for your body, though. Almonds, pistachios, walnuts, cashews, pecans, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, and peanuts are all great sources. Those are the best ones, and easy to source, whether you shop it at a local health store or your regular grocery store, or even a Sam's Club or Costco. There are nuts available in all of these places, and you can get them in bulk as well. How many servings of fruits and vegetables do we need a day? It can be incredible. It can be overwhelming. But how cool is this? This just makes me want to eat some of all of this. And I was really never a fruit person. But if I could have a grapefruit a day, that's one thing I would do, because that's one of my favorites now. But fruits add so much nutrient to our life. And between fruits and vegetables, just vegetables alone, we need over 7 servings a day. I love the new greens portion of the Doterra nutrition supplementation, because it helps me to get the number of vegetables I need. And when I was little, these did not exist on my dinner plate. My mother loved to make Swedish dishes that she was taught, casseroles. We made dishes that were native to South America, and we lived in a Dutch country within South America. So there were lots of different rice and noodle recipes, but there wasn't a lot of green on my plate. I love vegetables now, and maybe that's the reason, because I didn't get to have all these when I was younger, but 7 servings is kind of tough to do. So when you think about this, think about how you can get those servings in other areas. And some of you may already use different supplementation, nutrition supplementation. The new doTERRA line of nutrition supplements is pretty cool, and it tastes good. Other things that you can do as you're planning not only your snacks, but also as you're adding to the meals you are having is look at why you're planning the meals that you are planning. I don't know how many people use cookbooks anymore. I love the new doTERRA ebook for the nutrition line, but I normally Google a lot of things when I know that we need a certain amount of protein, greens, and carbohydrates in our diet, and also fiber. So I Google something that I may have wanted to cook a certain way, and then I look at how I can prepare that a new way. And there's so many fun recipes right now. So if you go on to, let's say it's even an Italian dish or a Mexican dish that you've had since you were young, there are probably 5 or 6 new versions that you could change one ingredient and put in one more vegetable, or substitute a starch with a vegetable, or add some nuts or seeds to a dish, and you could change the complexion of dinner time at your house. That's in the lower right hand corner is just a photo of some of the products in the new nutrition line. But at the base of everything for my life and for my family's health is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's just our core. I know that if I don't get all the servings I need, I've got that. So that actually is one of my habits in the morning. While that coffee's brewing and I have the glass of water, I also have my supplements out there. And I take them in kind of a 1, 2, 3 order. But as I get ready for my day, whether you're going to work, whether you're going to school or dropping the kids off, or whether you're going to work out, if you organize your snacks and then also think about why you're planning what you're planning for dinner, you'll start to see some changes, and it can be as easy as making one change a day. And I think I'm going to stop my share right now. And Jennifer is going to bring up one of the topics we absolutely love through the years that we've been doing doTERRA. And it's the joy of sharing the oils. When you enjoy, whether it's a service or a product or people that you're with, you find that you tend to want to share that with other people. And I think, as we mentioned, we've really enjoyed doing these classes together. But one of the joys of being introduced to doTERRA essential oils, besides natural solutions for our life, has been the people that we've met and the people that we share with. And those are the people we tend to attract through our stories with the essential oils and products and how they've helped change our lives. There are 3 types of people that normally use essential oils. One person, which is how I started with essentials. I absolutely love the way they smell. I love the way they looked. I love everything about them. I love where they came from. But I just wanted to live the wellness lifestyle. I could see that there was something in the essential oils that I had not been exposed to enough, and that was called natural solutions and things that could replace toxic products in my home. The next logical place that we come to, and it's the same kind of person, is the person that loves to share the oils. When we believe in something, we tend to share the oils. And in sharing doTERRA essential oils, it helps you to get your products paid for. Who wouldn't love that? The third type of person that's involved in doTERRA and with essential oils in our world is the kind of person that wants to build a business, to earn income and make an impact on the world. Why doTERRA? Why now? The need for alternative income has never been greater. doTERRA is thriving in an economy that is not. People are recognizing the need to take greater responsibility for their health. You might have some questions. How do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? What's the next step? How do I make money? It's really easy. When we show someone something that we love, they tend to try it, and then you can't help but love these oils. So sampling the oils, teaching about the plants and the products and the resources from which these products come, enrolling others so that they can enjoy using these oils in their home, and supporting. The income potential for doTERRA essential oils is incredible. It can be something as simple as earning a few $100s a month at the level of elite to becoming a presidential diamond where you would be making potentially over $100,000 a month. How much time is involved in these different levels? Let's say I want my oils paid for. That would involve a minimum of 3 to 5 hours a week. I want to supplement my income. This would involve 5 to 15 hours per week. Or I want to replace my income, 15 to 30 hours a week. Easily done. Could this work for me? Are you passionate about oils? Do you love people? Can you follow a system and get things done? What's the next step? Do you have a wholesale account? If you do, you would need to upgrade and set up 100 PV LRP, which is Loyalty Rewards Program. No, you do not have a wholesale account? Choose a kit and get set up on an LRP. Reach out for help. You can contact Jennifer and myself, and we would be happy to help you and plug you into all of our training and resources. Start making your list and sample everyone. This is so much fun. And as you think about people that you know, the list will be a long one. I love this quote from David Sterling, who is one of our founders at doTERRA. If you want to change the world, you have to empower people. That's the only way you make any permanent, effective change on the world.
Well, that was fabulous, Kim. Thank you for all those tidbits. And you're right. I love how you incorporated, of course, the lifelong vitality and the greens. Those are such easy ways for us to, add to our servings. And look at her, you've got a shake already ready. That's awesome. And they really taste good. And really, if my 11-year-old can enjoy smoothies and stuff with this, I mean, it says a lot. And also I loved your substitution. I'm reminded of, my husband is of Mexican descent. And so there's been, a decent amount of tacos served in our home and whatnot. And I love the food. We love many cultural influences. And I think it's so cool that, you lived in South America for a while, Kim. But an easy thing that I have done when I'm really trying to, keep the carbs on the lower side, and empty carbohydrates, I should say, is to do like a taco salad. So I can still have all of the components of what's in that taco shell and the salsa and the guacamole and all those tastes and flavors, but I feel better after having it on some lettuce versus in tortilla shells, or maybe have a few tortilla strips on top or a few chips or whatever. So you still have that crunch and salt, but there's ways that you can, sort of have your cake and eat it too. And I think portion is a big one too. So thank you for sharing all that. What did you put in your blender there?
This is one of the greens recipes from the nutrition, from the ebook, and then also in our 21-day challenge. But this is a tropical blend. So it has 2 scoops of the greens, frozen bananas, a cup of a tropical mix with papaya, strawberries, and pineapple, a drop of lime essential oil, about 14 ounces of water, and a handful of ice cubes. But I used to look at these drinks and go, oh my gosh, the green drink. It's absolutely delicious. And I have to say, each one of the nutrition line supplements, so smells really good. And my son was over the other night and I gave him a glass as I was preparing for the other class. And he goes, it smells ginger. He smelled the ginger in it right away. So there is ginger root in the greens mixture.
That's awesome. Well, and I think the glass is lovely too. Why not put it in a pretty fancy glass? I love it. So, well, thanks everybody for joining. If you're live or with us on the recording, thank you again. And you're always welcome in our community. So we welcome any comments, questions, reach out for anything. Nothing is too big or small. We're here for you. And we will see you next week. So I hope you have a fabulous week. And thanks again, Kim.
Bye.